Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, my dear brothers and sisters. Inshallah, we'll give you a short comment about rukhas, and then I will open the floor if you have any questions. Rukhsa means a permission, where Islam consider different circumstances, and there are different rules for those circumstances as making accommodation. And that's one of the forms of takhfif, making it easy to practice. And that is a sign of the wisdom and a sign of the mercy. However, the rukhas are four types. There's one rukhsa called rukhsa wajiba. It's must to take. It's not just a permission that you might take or not. You must to take. For example, eating dead animal at the time of striving to death. If it has nothing to eat, but you found a dead animal, it's must for you to eat from it to save your life. So it's not an option. It is a must. That's called rukhsa wajiba. There's rukhsa masnuna. It's a permission as a practice of the sunnah. If you have taken it, you'll be rewarded to practice sunnah. If not, no blame. But always there's a recommendation to take it. Because leaving the sunnah while you're able to practice, it's makruh, it's undesirable. And that's where it goes under the Sayyidina Sallam when he said, Inna Allah yuhibbu an tu'ta rukhsahu kama tu'ta azaimu. Allah loves you to come forward to apply the rukhsa, those permissions, as the time when you come forward to apply the normal practice called azima. And fall under that when you shorten the prayer during the trip of traveling with certain condition, combining the prayers, and all of that. And sometimes some people say, combining prayer, isn't that against the ayah in Allah Inna salata kanat al mu'mina kitaban mawquta? Prayer has a certain time, to do it. Yeah, those rules are the normal rules. When the rukhsa, it's exception in a certain circumstances that's not from the rules. And that exception does not negate the rule. The rule is there, but that's consideration in certain circumstances. When some people they say, Imam Abu Hanifa doesn't consider. No, Imam Abu Hanifa consider. He has the combining the prayer, and those there. However, the difference in conditions. I don't like, it could take a chair, Hajj. Yeah. So, the Imam Abu Hanifa, he consider, but in certain condition. Like for example, in Safar al-Hajj, he's allowed for them, in days of Hajj or Arafah, to combine the prayer, but not like as he's open from the condition like other scholars and other school of thought. So it does not mean he's not accepting that. No, he is accepting it, but he's just limiting the conditions and the circumstances. Where some other scholars, they might actually widen it. Imam Shafi'i, he said for combining the prayer because of the rain, just any rain. Other imams said, no, the rain that's with your cloth, and there are circumstances. So the condition, it might be different, but as a concept, all agreed. So that's called the rukhsa masnuna. The third one called rukhsa mubaha. It's permission, and it's equal, you applied it or not. It's fine. It's all has the same in level. They're called, mubaha. So it's a permission for you, and that is equal, you applied it or not. And some of this condition that related to al-buyu', dealing and buying and selling. They call al-araya, as-salmu fil araya. That's something I don't want to go in details because it's part of fiqh. The fourth one, they call khilaful awla. It's a permission, but it's better not. It's better not to consider, but still you have it. For example, if breaking the fast during traveling, Allah said, وَأَن تَصُومُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. It's better to fast. You have the permission, but it's better to fast. And that's maybe the only example in the last, fourth type of rukhsah, and with the debatable discussion between the scholars. But anyway, there are forms of rukhsah. There are sometimes you have to take it, sometimes a less degree, of that. This is a form of takhfif of Sharia. Sharia came with different forms. You might combine sometimes, you might shorten the prayer sometimes. The prayer dropped. When the prayer dropped? No prayer. When? Can you give me example? Dropped. I know you cannot think of that, but the sisters, they come and mind their mind right away. What? When you don't have the conscious? That's not even wajib at the time. But in the time of a menses, the ladies, when the time of their haid, the salah would drop. They didn't have to repeat it after. Not the siyam. Siyam they have to. But for salah, that's it. Their ibadah, not to pray at that time. You understand this? So it might be dropped. The salah. So there are forms of takhfif. There are over 8 or 9 forms of takhfif. It depends on the circumstances. And that's how the Sharia is very comprehensive, looking at all of those circumstances. Combining the prayer, it's a rukhsah. But rukhsah for whom? For the jama'ah al-ratibah, the regular jama'ah. The regular, like in a group, they are praying, like in a masjid, in a musalla. That's a rukhsah for them. Not for those at homes. Not for a jama'ah that was not regular. No, for those are regular. Why? Because you don't have to come back and forth to the masjid to reduce the risk. Being sick or risk sleep or whatever. Like today was the first snow. Usually when it comes to the first snow, more slippery. Because there is the leak, there is the oil on the ground. It's not that easy for people, which, subhanAllah, it might be actually more risky than other days. So we need you to be careful, inshallah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sharia care about you, about your health, about your well-being. Somebody might say, I live close by the masjid. You are not living closer than the Prophet ﷺ. The house of ﷺ is the same, wall with the masjid. It's attached to the masjid. So, and he still lead the prayer and combining. So it's a rukhsah, it's a permission, and you better taking that, and you will get the reward. Even for applying the sunnah and reviving the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Now somebody might say, how about the sunnah ba'diyah? The sunan ba'diyah and qabliyah. There are sunan I regularly pray. What I should do. Don't have to worry. Even the sunnah qabliyah, you still can't do it now. The sunnah ba'diyah after dhuhr, before asr, you can't do it now. So I prayed asr, you don't have to worry. You can do it now. If I combine maghrib and isha, how about the water? Do I have to wait until later? No. After acceptable isha, وَبَعْدَ عِشَاءٍ صَحِيحٍ. You pray correct isha, even it's combined with the maghrib, you're allowed to pray right away water. Is it better to delay? Yes, as normal, every night it's better to make your water last. If your water salah, if you can make it before bed, that would be the best. But am I permitted to pray right away after combining maghrib and isha, pray water? Yes, of course. You don't have to wait until the time of isha to pray that. So it's a form of takhfif, a form of mercy, and that tells you how the Sharia is there. So this is not normal practice. There are some groups that are making normal practice in all of their life. They combine Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib and Isha. No, that's not the case. If somebody, that's type of part of his job, he's traveling a lot. Even every day, maybe his taxi driver goes from London to Toronto every day. Is he allowed to combine? Yes. Allowed to shorten prayer? Yes. That's fine. As long as the reasons are there, it's fine. Even if it was repeated. Let's say we live in an area that's snowing every day. Can you combine every day? Yes. As long as the condition why you are praying is there, you pray. But let's say before ending the first salah, the condition is stopped. Then you are not permitted to combine, even if you have the intention. The condition has to be the condition and the reason of combining. It's all the way until you start the second salah. Then you are permitted, for that. What are those conditions? That's a long list. We can talk about it later, bidnai subhanahu wa ta'ala. And just to conclude with that, in Bukhari, as narrated by Ibn Abbas, that he combined with no fear and no rain. So some people took it as if, there's no need to have a condition to combine. No, the hadith doesn't mean that. The hadith means that the reasons are not limited to those. The reasons are more than those reasons, that allow you to combine the prayer. And now, as you see, we have a snow. At the time of Rasulullah, there is no snow in that area. Is that one of the reasons? Yes. Very similar to the reason that we have a rain. So if you have a bad weather, like snow or whatever, and that it might cause even a slight risk, we don't take the risk. You combine as applying the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. May Allah guide us all, and may Allah make us, reviving the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Ameen. Subhanaka wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.